All right, we are live. Greetings, disruptors. Greetings. We are live, going live over on Instagram too. Mic check. Thank you all. You know, technology is trying to get the best of us today, but we're not letting it win. Thank you for showing up today. I am your girl, Selena, aka the Disrupt Her Coach. And I'm having a little technical difficulty. If you all can hear any feedback, if it seems to be a problem, let me know. We may have to reboot and restart. My lovely guest with me is El Deity Princey. She is in one of my coaching circles. So I am grateful for her to be here and answering the call. Today, we're going to talk about healing from childhood trauma and master manifesting your dream life. The mic is hot. I've been following her, watching her YouTubes. They are good, girl. So thank you,
Thank
LD
you
Princey, for being here.
for
Let
having
me, I'm so glad you're here. And again, thank you for being here. Let me let everyone know that we do this every Sunday at 7 p.m. We like to start at 7 p.m. How sometimes the technology just gets the best of us, but we'll be here and we have coaching conversations to serve others. This is a way for me to show up in my strengths, which is connecting with others, and share the message. Allow other coaches to also share their message so that they can be of service to you if they're called to be your coach. You could hear their voice, know their services and their offerings, ask questions. We can get in the hot seat if you got a question and you want to come up on the stage. We're happy to have you as well. And so let's just kick this thing off. El Deity Princey, I like to start off with saying, how do you show up in the world?
again. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I show up in the world as my authentic self, not able to be placed in a box and just radiating my divine feminine goddess energy.
Yes. So, how did you come up with the name? Where did the name El Deity Princey? How did that come about?
Yeah, so my name is Princess Hill, and Princey is my nickname. And when I went through my spiritual awakening, my
Yeah,
spirit tugged on me. I researched so much, and I put together L deity. So L deity to me has like a lot of different meanings to it. But of course, it's it's another form of goddess. And then the L part for me is multiple meanings. Is God, but it's also I am suburban. I'm from Philly, so the L stop. So it's kind of like all encompassing of where I'm from and also my spiritual awakening.
I love that. I love that. That's
Thank you.
fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, so we're going to jump into some of the questions that I have. Let me see what's going on. What initially sparked your passion for helping people heal and manifest their dreams?
Well, um, like they say, we get into a lot of things and become passionate about things due to our own personal experiences. So I have had my own challenges. I had to overcome my own adversities from childhood trauma. And I sit in my life now where I'm currently at. And well, even before this moment, just leading up into this moment, I knew that if I can overcome my own childhood adversities and go to school, graduate, and just build a very successful life for myself, I know that someone else needs to hear this and needs to know. So it's a little bit of everything. I studied it, but it's also my living experience. So I want other survivors, thrivers. I consider myself a thriver. However,
Mhm.
whatever someone identifies as, I want someone else who has gone through trauma to know you can heal, especially from childhood trauma. So I want someone to know that you can heal, you can overcome, you can live any life you desire and just be free.
Absolutely. And so when you say someone, we like to get specific and like niche down in our coaching circle, right? So who would
Yes.
that someone be?
So I help people with childhood adversities to manifest the life of their dreams. And within that, I have attracted males and females. So I do get more so women. So I could say I help women with childhood adversities to manifest their life, their dreams. However, sometimes men do come to me as well. So I am open to working with anyone who has had these type of traumas, because these things can cause blockages into where a person desires to go next.
And what kind of traumas would that look like?
Sexual abuse, physical abuse, verbal abandonment. There's something called the ACEs scores, which stands for Adverse Childhood Experiences. And this score does test that whatever a child goes through during their childhood environment, they are likely to be victimized again as an adult. And this can be all encompassing because the child development is very crucial and is receptive to certain outputs and inputs. So that can be even watching abuse, even watching someone be murdered. But these things impact the adult psyche.
This is so good. This is so good. Well, thank you for showing up in this space and being able to help others. I myself, I wouldn't say that I had childhood trauma, but I've had a lot of trauma in my life, and it's not easy to get to this point and to also be able to serve and potentially relive some of the things that you've been through. So I congratulate you. I applaud you. I'm so proud of you. Thank you
Thank
for being here. Absolutely.
thank you for
So,
having me. It's such an honor to be here in your space. So thank you for inviting me in.
oh man, I love keeping the door open. I love keeping the door open and connecting us to one another. Now, you identify as a miracle coach. Tell me
Yeah.
more. Why miracle coach?
Yes, I identify as the miracle coach because miracles are really an illusion. People would think when something great happens, they're like, "Oh, it's a miracle," when really it was you leading up to this. However, our mind and our brain conceptualize something, as I stated, when you go through something so treacherous and then you're looking at, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to get through? And then at the right time, at the right
Right.
moment, everything falls into place. So that's how I identify, because that has been my life, and also the people that I have worked with and encountered. It's, of course, it's all them. It's really all up to you. I just like to use that because people will always come back to me and say, "Thank you for helping me with this," or "You've helped me get through this." So it's always this energy that I just bring forth that inspires others to go within themselves to do it, because it's really all them. We just shine a light to show everyone. So I feel like my life at one point was a miracle, and now I know that it's all the inner work you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are all walking miracles for sure,
Ashe.
especially if you survive something and come out on the other side. I
Yes.
agree wholeheartedly with that. So, I'm known out here in these streets as the disrupt her coach. And I would love to know um, some other things that you've had to disrupt in your life.
Oh, it's a lot. Oh, okay. You want me to answer now? Okay, so
Yeah.
like I said, it's so much. I wouldn't even know where to start. I guess really the I had to disrupt my connections with my family, of course, and that's like the most important. So the way we're designed, we need to have that family bond, then the society, and for me, I always say the top is the government, because and that's like going deep, so I won't go that deep. But we have to be aware of the energies that we carry, and
Mhm.
family settings are very important. So for me, having to detach myself from my family, which was very toxic, they were very abusive. Like I sent you one of the interviews I had to just tell most of my story. Is not really all of it, but it's bits and pieces. So me having to detach from my family, me
Yeah.
having to go to court, from my own. I call my caregivers egg and sperm donor. So having to go to court for them, and I was also 210 pounds, so having to lose almost over 70 pounds on my own. So I disrupted a lot of things in my life. I wasn't educated growing up, so when I did go to college and I completed a bachelor's and a master's degree, I really found out that, wow, I'm really intelligent, I'm really smart. So I disrupted, really, to answer your question in one big bulk, I disrupted my own programming. I disrupted my own programming system. I reprogrammed myself. And of course, there's always going to be new things you find. Like, I want to do this now. I want to, shed and become this new person. So I've really disrupted everything from my head down to my feet, literally.
I love that for you. And we get to decide, right?
Yes.
I'm always checking in to make sure that I'm showing up as who I really want to be. And so you mentioned the programming. I stopped just about in every household. There's a television, and I'm interested in how you feel about this. And I used to watch the news at night, and I would go to bed with the news, be the last thing, that I was listening to, and it would always be something that was showing up where someone would have done something to a child, and it
Yeah.
just would not sit with me. And I think I read something or something, and it talked about the bedroom being for rest. And it dawned on me, you know what? I need to get this television out of my bedroom. And I took it out of all the bedrooms in the house. Uh, my son's room, like and it just became a lot more peaceful. And then I just stopped watching TV altogether because I started realizing I was getting clearer. Like, the TV is just something that you you just let it talk to you, kind of like you're not even making choices really about it, and it's just telling you whatever it wants you to know. And I started recognizing a lot of the program. So that for me was a big kind of disruptive things too. Even today, people cannot believe that I don't watch the news. I listen to music. I do enjoy music, but hardly ever look at a television. And somebody is always telling me what's going on. So I don't even need to. How do you feel about the programming, and where were you seeing your programming?
Yeah, that's a really deep and beautiful question. I love that. So I see it in two ways. So basically, the television programming reinforces the programming of, children having to sit in school. I was also a preschool teacher too. So watching children even sitting in school for 8 hours, and that's a program in itself. And it starts with the family. So the family has the first 5 years of of any child, the first 5 years,
Formative
maybe
years. Hmm.
maybe three if they go into preschool. But that first 5 years, they get to mold the child into either fear or love. And now the TV comes to play. Well, before the TV is society. You learn from your group of, oh, this show is popping. This is what's going on. So now you're being integrated from the family energy, society, and then you come home, like you said. Now you're watching it at night, and then for kids, you're just sitting in front of it, watching it all day, not going outside, not connecting with nature, connecting with yourself. So that's a really deep question. And I think that it can be broken down in so much. But as you stated, not watching it, I did go a long time without watching TV because my one mentor is Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters. He helped me a lot with my spiritual awakening. And
Hmm.
he talked about, like you said, the fear news. The fear news keeps us in that lower vibration. It's only two vibrations. It's love and high frequency, and it's fear and low. And that's what the news will do. Something sad. They don't talk about, the good things. It's always something in fear. And then you sleep with that. So that goes into your subconscious. And while that's in your subconscious, during your next day, you're playing these things out or you're having the nightmares. So your subconscious and your unconscious is really important to protect.
Absolutely.
Those things are going to be your conscious awareness and what you're thinking.
Hmm. This is so good, girl. Oh my goodness, this is so good.
It's
Absolutely.
beautiful.
I can send us down a whole nother trail, and I'm on the question list just to be a little bit good. Um, Let me ask you, for the listeners out there, what are the first steps someone should take when beginning to heal from childhood trauma?
That's a great question. And it's not linear. Everyone has their own way. I will say
Mhm.
what worked. I will just give what worked for me as a guide. I really would suggest that if there was, sexual abuse, and especially that, I feel like there was a new law passed. Survivors have up to 50 years to report that. So depending on where the person feels comfortable and what they feel comfortable to share. It's no pressure. But I have found that when you do tell and speak up and get justice, that's if the justice can be served as far as legally. If you can get that legal justice, it will, of course, bring up other emotions, but that is like a empowerment moment, because now you get to take back your power and place the blame, not blame, but give that, what is the word I'm looking for, accountability is basically an answerable question. That's the etymology of accountability. So you're able to give that accountability where it belongs and not hold on to it and feel like this was my fault, I deserved it. I even heard, not to jump off completely, I apologize, but within our music, this culture, I heard someone rap about, oh, when I was 2, I wanted to give my mom the world. That right there is an example of someone, a young person, thinking that it's my job to fix this, or it's my job this happened. So I would really say starting off with releasing that accountability for where this started, and then the next steps within that is all intertwined. Seeking a therapist, seeking a coach, getting that help, a support group, journaling, different modalities. There's something I studied in college, which is TFCBT, which stands for trauma focused cognitive behavior therapy. And this really helps a person to heal from their traumas by focusing on it and releasing it, and then changing your thoughts and your patterns and your beliefs associated with it. So it's not a right or wrong answer. It's what someone feels comfortable. But I will say that holding it in energetically, now we're speaking on a metaphysical level, if you don't release it, it never goes anywhere. So I've met a lot of people that would say, I'm going to hold on to this until I die, and I'm going to take it to the grave. And that doesn't do you any benefit to live your life, because energy cannot die, it can only be transferred. So I would just suggest for anyone to just work on releasing it however they feel comfortable to release it.
Yeah, it's you are hitting home in a lot of areas. I've lived a lot of life, and so I'm currently doing the TFCBT therapy for the trauma that I experienced in narcissistic relationships, both in my marriage and with a coworker. So it's not just intimate relationships; it can be friends, family.
Yeah.
Um, those invisible scars that people can't see, they are very, very real. So this is some very good information that you're sharing. Um, I love that. Uh, so now, first of all, you look very young to me. I'm not going to ask you your age unless you're willing to share. I love your depth of knowledge. I see you mentioned etymology, and the study of words is very, very powerful. Why was that important to you?
Well, it's really important now more so. I was really against it for a while. I would hear a lot of the spiritualists who I follow, like, words have meaning, and I'm just like, that's a you thing. Until I started connecting the dots. That's all I do is study and read. So I'm like, whoa, like, so now I'm like really conscious of the words I speak over my own life. So
Absolutely.
that's why they're very important to me. And I know it's a deeper way to look at words too, and I'm not there yet. So for now, I look at the etymology.
Okay. And I think it's powerful too, as we are spiritual beings, right? And we do have a divineness in ourselves. Our words are powerful, and the words that we speak over ourselves, whether they're good words, bad words, whatever, we give them meaning. They mean whatever they mean to us, and we can use it for our good or to our detriment. Ultimately, I definitely believe in prayer, and what I learned in my darkness when I was deep in the valley, as I started getting healthier and clearer, I started realizing I was praying for things I didn't want. I was giving it energy in my prayers, and I was like, hold on. The specific prayer was to break the spirit of control. And as I was listening to myself, I said, wait a minute, that's not what I want. What's the opposite of control? It's acceptance. And I started praying for acceptance. And everything just started lining up for me to quit believing that I could control all of these things, and allowed me to break it and receive the spirit of acceptance. It was so powerful. And I was like, hold on. I feel like I've been praying wrong the whole time. That's why these cycles happen. You know? What was your biggest impact around the words that you speak?
Well, I just want to say though that was beautiful what you said too about praying for that. I think that's really a good thing somebody should look at too. For me, the biggest thing was I took a coaching class, and one of the mentors broke down like the words that we use, because when you're manifesting is metaphysical, and it's permeating throughout your entire being, all the way down to your atoms and your neurological process and your parasympathetic nervous system. All these different things matter. So for example, the word try, he broke that down, and try is like I'm trying. No, you're doing. So that really impacted me. And especially I really take advice from people who are living a life that I desire to live. So seeing where he's at, seeing the progress he's done with people, I'm like, he's on to something. So that's what made it click in my mind. And this was maybe a couple months ago. So I've been really super conscious of my words, because I felt like all I would say was trying up until about, I say a month ago, because I've been watching myself. I would keep saying, I'm trying, I'm trying. Now I feel better now that I don't say I'm trying, because
Mhm.
I'm doing and I'm being and I'm existing.
Absolutely. And becoming. It's one of the, yeah, I love that. I love that. Woo, it's a big difference when you come into the knowledge to know something so that you can do better.
Yes.
What are some common misconceptions about manifesting and how can people avoid them?
Yes, so we're all manifesting. The life that we're living right now is just a manifestation of our thoughts. Your thoughts create your reality. So we're all constantly manifesting, and the biggest misconception is to think that you have to do certain things to manifest. But
Right.
really, in order to manifesting and master manifesting is being intentional. So we're all unconsciously manifesting, but the biggest misconception is that people have to be more so intentional, and you're being intentional by clearing out your circle. You become like the five closest people around you. So if you say, I want to manifest this beautiful home or beautiful partner, whatever the case may be, but you're sharing. Now, this is where it's paradox, right? Because nobody really can stop you from achieving your dreams. But when you're connected with people, you feel their energy, you become like the five closest people around you. So if you want to manifest a certain dream home, but you have those around you who are not necessarily agreeing or hyping you up, and they're speaking negativity over you, you're going to feel that. And those are the things that slows up the manifestation. So in order to manifest, it's looking at all areas of your life, because all areas matter. And when you
Abs-
have an equal balance of all those things, then you will begin to see the synchronicities, and you will begin to see the intentional work that you're doing. So that's like the biggest thing, because you can do whatever you want. You can use a crystal, you can use a book. All those things are just really giving yourself the permission to obtain those things, because it's all mind power. That's the first hermetic principle, which is the law of mentalism. So everything's all mind, but you can use these other things as a tool, and using these things only amplify what it is that you're intentionally doing.
Understood. Understood. You mentioned crystals. I know the Christian community has some concerns about crystals.
Yeah, I know.
Tell me more. What are your thoughts around it?
So again, I have a very free mind. So I don't see things as, because good and evil lies within us, and good and evil is subjective to everyone. Because because as you stated, if a Christian woman deems this crystal as evil, for me, for example, I went through a period where about 3 months I was attached to my crystals. I'm surprised I don't have them on now. I've been slacking, but I was super attached to mine, and that's because that's what I gave meaning to in that moment. But then, kind of felt like, well, it's still me. It's me. So I feel like crystals or anything, sage, whatever you want to use, it's a principle in it. like a rose quartz, the representation of a rose quartz is love, is peace, is serenity. So a person who deems it as evil, another person might actually see it and feel like this is a beautiful thing. It's all from earth, just as diamonds. Crystals are diamonds. So if a person doesn't necessarily like crystals or think those are evil,
Mhm.
diamonds are from the earth too. It's all creatures of the creation of earth. Really, all things have life in it, and all things are created from our higher source. So that's just my view on it, because I went through that. I grew up Christian, and I found my own way. So that's where, and Christianity actually would like keep me thinking, oh, I'm going to go to hell, or you don't honor and obey your mother, and I'm like, yeah, well, she abused me, so how, like it was just this whole rabbit hole for me.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I have a freer mind around those things, and I think anything can be healing for someone else.
Absolutely. And none of us have been here before, and I believe the Lord sees everything. Whoever your God is, whatever that is that you believes, that helps you understand who you are, who you were meant to be here and show up as on this earth. I was raised Pentecostal, I married Baptist, then I married again, somebody was Jehovah's Witness, and all of those things. And personally, I want to explore the world and meet all of the religions and the Christians, because they each serve a purpose, I do believe. And I want to know the other cultures. I'm on a journey now where I was I don't know if I fully identify as a Christian anymore. I feel that I'm more spiritual. I feel my closest to God not being attached to a religion. It just definitely um, it's just a different feeling. It doesn't feel weighted. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels um, I feel like I'm at the highest vibration, and I recognize when I had my son and I wasn't in the church, and the Lord has me in a season right now where I'm not tied to listening to a specific person
Mhm.
preach,
Yeah.
right? And I'm just so tapped into my intuition, my divinity, and it's it's such a high vibration. It I don't even know how to describe it at this point, because I'm actually living it right now. And I can liken it to when I was in my darkest, lowest moment when my husband died, and then I got pregnant with my son. Everything was all intuition, and I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
And he turned out pretty good. So,
Oh, that's for your loss as well.
thank you. Thank you. It's been 33 years. It definitely changed the entire trajectory of my life. That's for sure. Let's talk about you though. I don't want to get stuck there. Is what is one piece of advice you wish everyone knew about the power of healing and manifesting?
Freedom. Okay. Okay. One piece of advice. Okay. So freedom to be who you want to be, who you truly desire to be. Like, healing is so powerful. Like, I feel like healing gets kind of overlooked. Like, okay, healing, like it's like just thrown around, but it's so powerful. It's so powerful to heal from something. It's the same thing as if you get a cut or you had a broken arm. Once that cut goes away, like depending on, of course, the wound, but there's cuts that you no longer see. There's, people broken limbs where, okay, now it's like it feels fine. And yes, some people, it might feel like, okay, it's raining, I might feel it, or the scar, I might see it a little bit.
Right.
However, the end result is that this is no longer like a thing. This is like something that's not holding you down. It's not weighing you down. It's not stopping you. It's not vibration. I love to use the vibrational energy chart. And we vibrate. So there's a vibration
Absolutely.
that goes from low hertz to high. And when you heal, you're able to reach and oscillate, because you're gonna always, come back down. You might dip back down emotions and you come back up when you're when you've healed from something in particular that has kept you way down, the journey continues higher up. You oscillate higher up, and now when there's new things that come about, you'll be able to heal from those things and overcome those things quicker because you have the experience from the previous thing that no longer disrupts you. so
Right.
so healing is really freedom. It's pure freedom.
Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. And until you know, I liken it to knowing versus experiencing, right? A lot of times we know through things through someone else's lenses, right? The teaching, like that. But then when you fully experience it for yourself, it's
Can
a
you
different level.
It clicked off a little. Can you just repeat that for me, please?
Oh, okay. I was saying that I liken it to knowing versus experiencing. It's just another level. A lot of times we know things through someone else's lenses, right? But then when you experience it for yourself, it's a totally different dynamic, revelation, understanding, power, because now you know what you know based upon experience, which is very, very different than knowing it and learning it from someone else.
And nobody can take that from you. And that's why it's so beautiful. I always say, like a surgeon, like you can read how to give a surgery, but and then if you never do it, when somebody lays in front of you, like, okay, I'm ready, you're gonna be like, I don't know what to do. Is you have to actually do it. You read it up.
Practice.
Now go do it.
That's right. You got to practice and build the muscle for it. I am about that life. Awesome. Awesome. How can people create a supportive environment for their healing journey?
So that's why I'm a coach, and that's why I've came out of. I'm still doing therapy, of course. However, my business is not therapy, so you cannot get therapy with me. I am a coach, and this is why that question is very, very important for me. The only way to do this is to you have to be. I always say assertiveness is next to godliness.
Hmm.
You have to be assertive, and you got to do it. If you want it, cut those people off, remove yourself. And I get it, everybody is in a different situation, so I totally get that. However, that has to be the goal. This can't be something that you wait a year for. Because if you really want it and leave these people alone, I mean, you will go ahead and have a plan, work out that plan, and start to do the work so you can remove yourself. Because that's the environment is going to be really effective from who's around you. You can't change people, but you can definitely change who you associate yourself with. So the environment is really based off the people, the places. Like I've moved from after I graduated, I'm from Philly, but after I graduated, I went to South Carolina. Now I'm in Atlanta. So I and that's something that like now I'm like happy with it. But back then I was like, I can't just leave PA. I can't do that. And you can. You're not a tree. I used to say I can't just leave I have little brothers who I absolutely love, but I have to live my life. So it's like it's either I stay and try to, tug and pull and be miserable and be in a low vibration, or I say, listen, I'm cutting the cord. I have to go, and that's it. There is no you can't. You can do anything you want. So that's the first key to, and that's why I'm a coach, because I will keep it 100% honest with people. If you want this, you have to at least you have to leave or make a plan to get out that situation and be in a better environment, because it's epigenetics. Epigenetics talks about where you're at is it shows the gene expression. So if you're depressed and you're feeling sad and low because of the environment, your body is releasing these chemical hormones of sad and depression. Now you remove yourself in an environment where you can sleep, where you have peace. Now your body's going to release the hormones that is going to uplift you and give you that energy boost that you need to get through your day. So environment is really important.
Absolutely. Environment, I think, is a total key to thriving versus not being able to thrive. You could be limited based upon, like you said, the five people that you are around. It's one of the first things we look at. in my program, it's like, what are you taking in? Who are you listening to? What are you watching? How are you experiencing these things? And is it what you truly desire? I know on my journey, I'm a 43-year friendship had to go. It had to go. It was it was not serving me for a very long time. So when you start to get clear, people, you're gonna most likely see some things in a different light that you had not seen before.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about you a little bit more. I'd love to get to know you a little bit better on the personal side. Um, what personal experience shaped your passion for helping others heal from childhood trauma? Was there one thing in particular?
The one thing in particular that really shaped my experience was it goes back again to the development of the child's mind, my attachment to my egg and my sperm donor. Well, really to my egg donor, because I really didn't know my sperm donor, that well, but he still was one of my abusers. But my attachment to my egg donor kept me so paralyzed and just so much in fear my up until I started reparenting during college. So by me being able to live on campus, that really helped me to break free. And once I went no contact with her and I really got to be myself, it was like a light bulb moment. I felt like I have to let people know because people think that the first heartbreak is for not saying everyone, but for people who have experienced childhood abuse in their mother and father wounds, we will get in relationships, and then when we break up, we have so much hate and animosity towards the person, thinking you betrayed me, you hurt me. No, that's your child wounded from your mother and father. So that's what gave me so much passion because I would think that it was my partners who did me so wrong. It was never them. It was my inner child wounded, still looking to repair that relationship with my egg and sperm donor. So that's what makes me want to be called more to push this out because it's not the relationships. It's healing from your mother and father who was abusive. This is only if you have that. You heal from them,
Mm-hmm.
you have a whole different life. And that's what motivates me so well because I feel so free from them. I feel so free. And it took me so many years to get to where I'm at. And I absolutely love it.
I'm proud of you. Yeah. You said a big word, reparenting is a whole mouthful.
Yes, we
You went back and got you went back and got little princess and reparented her so that you could become your best self now.
yes,
I
yes.
love that for you. I love
Thank
that. I love that for you.
and that's why I tell people like you do this, it will show. Because I go to different places, I be in different spaces, and people will just say, "Oh, your mom." This the energy I give off. They're like, "Oh, your mom and dad must love you," and I just take that and I give it to myself because I'm like, yes, like I became my mother and my father, and yes, I love myself, and I just say, "Yep, they do." So it's like you show up when a person has these wounded mother and father wounds, your energy it looks different because you attract people who are resemblance of your mother and father. But when a person has healed these things, their energy shows up differently. The way they talk, the way they treat people, it's just a different being. So you can heal yourself. So even if you did not have a good mother and father, you can
Absolutely.
feel that and show up in the world as if you do, and you're gonna blend right in with all the high rollers, all the conscious parents who raise their children with love and light. You'll fit right in and you won't have a resentment. Because I know growing up, like I would have like this resentment and things like that. And you won't have those type of experiences anymore.
Absolutely. You get to decide. Once you make a decision, it changes everything. Absolutely. I love this for you. I am so encouraged by your spirit here. Besides coaching, what do you do to stay inspired and keep the miracle alive in your own life?
Yes, I love to work out. Like I said, I did lose over 75 pounds on my own. So the gym is like my best friend. Even if I miss time, for me, the gym is my lifelong partner. So working out, shopping, I love to read. I love to write. I have a book and I'm working on another book. Well, I have a lot of writing projects. And
Mm,
So those are the things that I just love to do. I love to dance. I will dance all day in a second. Dancing is like my favorite thing to do, no matter where I'm at.
I'm,
So
I'm a dancer too. And I can sing. I will sing
mhm.
in a minute.
I
What?
love that.
I love that. Now we're not just gonna gloss over this. I wrote a book, Miss Arthur. Tell us about your book.
Yeah, so my first published book is Trauma That Metamorphosed into a Butterfly. And this book is for children and adults. We all have an inner child. It's for the wounded inner child. It takes a village to raise a child. So we all have an inner child that needs that village of support, as we talked about earlier, resources, your environment. So my book is dedicated to anyone from the age of 3 all the way up to 100. If you have any type of childhood abuse, as far as sexual assault, physical, verbal, this is those type of traumatic experiences. This is to help you and let you see that you're not alone. Healing is possible, different ways to heal and to transform into that butterfly, going from the wounded caterpillar to the free flying spirit butterfly.
I love that. How was the journey of writing this book for you?
Oh my gosh. I thought it was going to be simple and easy. This was like a year and a half journey. I was like, are you serious, universe? Because when I started, I was like, oh, I finished it in like a couple weeks. It wasn't the book. It was now, I didn't know it was everything's a process. See, just like nurturing a seed, you can't just do it and think it's done. Write
Right.
editor, barcodes, illustrator, go back and forth. So it took me a year and a half. So I was a bit, antsy with it.
So was that your first baby? Like, projects, you birthed them.
Yes, this is my very, like, I feel like there's nothing like your first. Your first, so everything else I'm creating, of course, is going to be amazing. But I feel like just like Picasso, you can't compare the very first artwork to everything else because that very first one, that's the starter. That's the one that's
Yeah,
rolling. So this is my baby. This is really my baby.
I love that. And so I I got charm of metamorphosis into a butterfly, right?
It's trauma that metamorphoses into a butterfly.
Trauma. Where did I get charm? Well, I
I
was
do talk. I've been working on that. I've since I was a kid, people always say you talk a mile a minute, literally since I was like 5. So I talk really fast, and I've been working on that. I still just talk fast.
you're doing all right. It's a little bit of a break in there, and I'm wondering if it's your mic. What are you using as a mic?
Oh, it is a break. I'm just using the computer.
Okay. No, then it's probably not that because I'm doing the same. I don't know what's going on. That's all right. Everybody don't want to hear this message, but we're gonna give it to them. What is one surprising thing about you that most people don't know?
One surprising thing about me that I know of, I apologize.
No worries.
Okay, so the most surprising thing that people don't know about me is I don't know what to say. Oh, I have a rap song. I have a rap song.
What?
Yeah, there we go. That's a good one.
Okay, break it down. Let's hear a little something, something. What you got?
You want to hear me rap?
Why not?
Okay, so it go like I had to hop over fences and climb up the ladder to get what I want. Can I curse? Is it okay if I curse?
I do.
Okay, so it go like I had to hop over fences and climb up the ladder to get what I want, bitch. I'm just getting better. They tried to tell me I would never be shit. Look at me now, body built like a brick. Sleep all you want, but I'm chasing my dreams. Everything I do is fucking supreme. Came from the hood, ain't shit sweet about me. And I graduated, got my degree. Growing up, didn't like how they treated me, but this pandemic really put heat in me. Growing up, they mentally fuck with me. Now I'm up. Bitches look up to me. I am her. I got y'all on my side. These bitches don't phase me. I never hide. R.I.P. to my late great dad. Or I'm done.
Okay. So now I hear a lot in that. I didn't know it was gonna be that much cussing. Surprise! Apologize, y'all, but this
And
is
I apologize. That's why I asked.
live TV. No, no, but just for those that will feel some kind of way about it, I'm just apologizing to y'all. I don't feel any kind of way about it. It's an expression. I curse. They've been talking to me about it for years. The Lord already know I cuss.
Exactly.
in my head. So I'm like, I didn't gave up that with, all of that. Um, I hear a lot of expression in that. When did you come up with that song?
So I actually wrote it when I was still in college. So it's 2 years ago. So it's not like newer. I do have another one, but that one's like extra, extra. So you don't want to hear that.
You
But
say extra, extra. Well, I can tell. I hear a lot of freedom in your voice and power around it that you have overcome. What's
yes,
the name of
it's called Alpha Anthem.
it?
By my name on Apple Music is Lil Princey. So that's Lilprincey.
Oh my goodness, you got all the things. So you got a book out, you got an artist that's already got a song out on the Apple Music. Oh my goodness. I love this.
Thank you.
So that in itself just screams freedom, right? Like you've had these avenues and channels to express yourself and you've taken advantage of them. I
And
love
that's
that
all
for
it's
you.
about. And that's why I'm glad you asked, because whether you want to sing, dance, or write, all these things are forms of expression for you to release that pain. And I'm really glad I did that, because I didn't know at that time that's what I was doing. That's how I felt. But after the production, after doing it, I'm like, wow, like that's my creation of taking my pain and putting it into something and releasing it. So however you choose to release, writing poems, spoken words, I have a few of those too, but my throat chakra is very much activated once I healed. I'm like, I'm going to say and do whatever I desire to do. So
I love that. And that's the power of freedom, right? And the healing, like you're saying. Um, we've worn masks long enough. And if this is how you show up, this is how you show up.
exactly.
And it's okay. It
Yeah.
is truly okay. There's a point, I don't even know how that saying goes, but you've only got one life, and you start living it when you decide you've only got one life,
Exactly.
right?
Yes. Yes. I
And
should.
so don't play with it. I love that for you. Let's talk
Thank you.
about you are so welcome, sweetheart. Absolutely. This is a judge-free zone over here. If you could give one piece of advice to your younger self about healing and manifestation, what would it be?
It would be, I just really thought about this the other day, actually. The one piece of advice that I would give to my younger self is that, the people matter. That as I instill now with my approach, the people you're hanging around truly does matter. And setting a self-worth bar, having a bar, a standard for yourself. When you have a standard for yourself, you receive different outcomes in life. And when you're just settling for anything just because you're young, lonely, like for me, like I stated, I didn't have anybody growing up. Like I was really by myself, and I was just attached to the first person that basically showed me love. And it's like knowing that this is not what I want. I don't even want to be with this person.
Right.
However, I need to feel safe. So I would say don't lean into scarcity and fear. Actually have a standard. Your circle matters. And when you're going to date and have jobs or whatever the case may be, have a standard. If you don't want something, that's a non-negotiable. Don't bend on it just because it's like, well, it sounds good right now. Keep that standard, because in the end, you're going to get way more. So that's really what I would tell my younger self.
Absolutely, absolutely. And life experience uh, will teach you that for sure. Would
Yes.
you share a favorite book, podcast, or resource that has significantly impacted your life?
Yes. So um, I would say these two really have helped me. Okay. This one. Okay, first the Kybalion. The Kybalion really has helped me.
Hmm. Tell me about that one.
This explains the hermetic principles, the law of mentalism, correspondence, vibration, gender, um, polarity, rhythm, causation. This explains the whole laws, how the universe is functioning and working on. So this really impacted me because I put everything into the the development of the child's mind and the brain and all those things. So that's how it helped me because I studied a lot of psychology in school too.
And so, who was the author of this book, and how did you hear about it?
This is the Three Initiates, and I learned about this book through my spiritual mentor, the first one who basically sparked my spiritual awakening, Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters. He's really big on YouTube. So that's how I heard about this book.
Mm-hmm.
And then through me going on my journey and posting and being my authentic self online, I ran into another spiritual person. And when they put me onto this book, it was like a synchronicity because I do believe it's the same author for the three initiatives. This is Mind Power by
Mm-hmm.
William Atkinson. The Kybalion does not have his name on here. It says the three initiates because the three initiates are who like studied the words and put it together on the tablets. However, the way it's written, you can tell it's him on both of these books. So his name is William Atkinson, and he has a lot of good, profound teachings to really get into that subconscious of like just manifesting and mind power and mentalism and the law of suggestion and all these different things, which we're naturally working off of. So these two books have really helped me a lot.
I love that. I love that for you. Absolutely. I've never heard of it, so I'm going to see what's going on over there.
Yeah, check them out. Let me know how you like them.
Absolutely. I'm always looking to see what's on the path for me because you never know.
I
You
say.
never know. How and where can people find you?
Yeah, so you can find me. My main platform is TikTok and YouTube. My TikTok is at L, that's EL dot deity, that's DEITY dot Princey, PRINCEY, and then just eight. That's my name on TikTok, and on YouTube, my name is the same thing. The only difference is you're not going to put any dots. You're just going to put L deity Princey 8 for YouTube.
Okay, no spaces. Awesome. And we're going to drop it all in the caption for those that want to connect with the lovely L Deity Princey. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. That's getting close to time. But before we go, I always like to ask my guests, do you have any questions for me?
Um, Not really a question, but I'm really proud of what you're offering here. I think this is so beautiful to open up this space. And for me, growing up, I didn't really see many people of color who reflect me who are doing these type of things. So that is why I put myself in these spaces. So to see you is really also a sign for my inner child, like I've done the right thing because you're opening up this space to others who reflect you. So I feel very safe being in the presence of my people. So thank you for having me here. And thank you for doing this for all of us. It's really beautiful that you take the time out of your day to do this every week. So thank you.
Absolutely. Spirit told me to do it. Hi, honey. I just follow. I I know what it is when I don't follow my spirit, and I never ever want to be in that space again.
Yes.
And you are a divine reflection of me. Absolutely. I have we'll talk offline. I have someone I want to connect with you. Spirit just told me to connect you two. I think it'll be a beautiful divine connection for you all. It's my business bestie. Her name is Saria, and her business is called Soul Liberation.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so you can check her out online, and yeah, I think you all would make good friends and be very supportive of one another. Absolutely.
SOUL.
SOUL and the second L in liberation. So it's two L. Soul Liberation.
Got
Dot
it.
org. Soulliberation.org. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Well, that is our time, y'all. I want to thank you for being here and joining us in. Tap in. We'll drop in the caption of this live all of the pertinent information that El Deity Princey has shared with us. Next week, I do not have a guest. I'm actually traveling at the end of the week, and I'm probably going to take off next week. However, what I do plan to do, if I can do it, I was a guest on a podcast, the Her H period E period R period podcast with Dr. Tam Foreman a couple of weeks ago, and we thought we videoed it. It didn't video. However, we will have the audio. So if my team can do it, we're going to play that live in place of a guest. But the calendar is always open. I am open to any and all coaches. If you want to come on, you can go to disrupthercoach.com and click the link for Coaching Conversations with Selena podcast guest. Fill it out and find an available spot for you. We do this live. My conversations are not pre-recorded, and the reason they are not, because I want them to be their most authentic and purest form. I want you to show up in all of your glory. That's the goal. Life is not perfect, and it's full of disruption and a lot of ebbs and flows. And so I want to be able to do and share that and get the message out, so people are able to come as they are. That's the best we can do, right? Be yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I want that wholeheartedly. I thank you again for being here. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we go?
Just you guys, healing is very much possible. You can do anything that you want to do in this world. Don't let no one tell you that you cannot. And being authentic will get you you will be able to master manifest quicker when you are being authentic. So be yourself, love yourself, and peace, love, and light. And I'm here if anyone wants to reach out to me. You guys know how to find me. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. And you all know my new line is be good to yourself. Until next time, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right. We are up.